These inbox videos are supposed to have really awesome intros, but they don't. They have terrible intros. That's the intro. This one's going to feature something, but I'm not sure what. I'll figure out in a minute. But it won't be dramatic pauses. Not at all. This one's from Luke from Oz. That's Oz, as in Australopithecine Universal Survivors. He's an Australopithecus. I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm thinking of picking up an awesome graphics card to play Call of Duty 4 on Crysis. He's thinking about the Sparkle 8800 GT with 512 megabytes or the EVGA 8800 GT with 256 megabytes. I'm leaning towards the Sparkle because of the video memory. What do you reckon? Well, I reckon that you've reckoned correctly. And if you put a card in your system with not enough video memory, then you're going to be wrecking. I'm going to start beatboxing. No, I won't. Odd pause. Now, if you want to play Crysis, especially at the higher resolutions, you're going to need more video memory. Some cards is irrelevant, like the 8600 GT with the gigabyte of memory. Well, that card's not made to play at high resolution, so why would you need the extra video memory? It's almost silly. But with the 8800 GT and beyond, the more video memory you can get on that card, the better. So don't get the 256 megabyte EVGA. Get one of the 86 or 8800 GTs that has 512 megabytes or more. There's also some other good cards out there. 8800 GTS, 9600 GT, 3870. I mean it. Next one's from Art Mighty. He says, "Hi, I'm first-time writer." It's kind of weird. I say that on radio shows, like when you call in. I feel like Delilah. All right, first-time writer. Currently building a new computer for myself, and I'm having trouble installing the in and out panel that came with the board. I'm using the Xeon 2 case and a Striker 2 Formula motherboard. What do you recommend I do? Well, first off, I recommend that you don't get cut by that stupid in and out panel. That thing, man, I've got scars. I've been mauled by those things. They're like cougars, except they're square and have sharp edges. They're actually nothing like cougars, because cougars are cats with big claws that actually physically attack you. I believe this thing did physically attack me, but it's not anything like a cougar. It's much less like a cougar than I originally stated. So some things might have been illicit or untrue in the first portion of your answer. I recommend putting it in there so that the corner is in the corner. You got to get the corners in first. Just apply firm pressure with your thumb and do it until it hurts, or you cut yourself and get mad and throw the case across the room. Those things are really hard to get in, man. Just stick in there. Keep doing it, man. Just got to do it. Just smash it in there. Get the corner in there. Pop in one corner, then pop in the opposite corner. There's not really much advice you can give other than saying, hey, bring it over and I'll do it myself, but I'm not going to do that for you. I don't want you to know where I live. That's weird. I don't know where you live, except the fact that I looked up your IP address and I've been watching you eat soup through the window. You like that Campbell's, don't you? Chunky. You're pretty chunky, too. Am I allowed to say these things? I'm going to come to your house, dude, while you're asleep. I'm going to come inside and I'm going to get a big knife out. I'm going to cut a lemon in half. And then I'm going to take that lemon and set it aside while I brew a nice cup of Earl Grey tea. Then I'm going to squeeze the lemon into the cup, drink the cup, and leave. How do you like that? I'll do it. You don't think I'm serious. And you won't even know. You'll be asleep. I know when you sleep. God, I went off on that. This one's from The One. The One. And only. Hey, Logan. I want to buy a graphics card. I have the Asus P5NE SLI with 4 gigs of RAM, the Quad Q6600. I don't know which one to get. I do video editing, photo editing, games like Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 4, and I want to play Crysis. Help me. And there will be cake. The One will make cake. It will be the One cake that brought us all together for a party. All right, I love cake. For you, depends on your price range. For a good price range, it's going to give you a lot of features as far as HD is concerned. Take a look at the brand Palette. They make the 9600 GT Sonic. It's overclocked. It's got HDMI and DisplayPort on board. That's one of the coolest cards I've seen in a long time, because you're going to get a lot of performance out of it. You're going to be able to play Crysis, possibly even upwards of resolutions at 1600 and 1200. I would recommend a little lower than that. If you want to spend a little more money, well, heck, look at the 9800 GX2. If you want to spend like a ridiculous amount of money, that thing is going to just chew up everything you throw at it. Also, the 9800 GTX is good. And if you, well, yeah, you have the SLI motherboard. So yeah, 9800 GTX, the 9600 GT, the one from Palette, the Sonic Edition. That one's got every input and output that you could ever want. So in that price range, it's what I would go with for your situation. Next question is from Zaws. Z-A-W-S. I like that. It's a good name. Makes me think of zawing things in half. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just watched your YouTube video on the 750 gigabyte Seagate external hard drive. My question is, since it uses the eSATA interface, can one load their OS onto the drive and boot from this drive? Can this be done on USB 2.0 or FireWire drives as well? Yeah, this can be done because the eSATA is going to be the same speed as the internal SATA in your computer. Now all you're going to need to do is just go into your BIOS, press delete when your system turns on, and select there'll be like a boot device priority, and select that drive as your primary drive. When you boot it up, that'll be your primary boot device. So that'll work just fine. Now as far as booting from USB, you can do this. I think it's an ill-advised maneuver, but you can do it. Some people install like an OS onto a USB thumb drive. It takes a long time to get into the OS, but all you have to do is just make sure the motherboard supports it. If the motherboard supports it, you go into the BIOS and you enable boot from USB or device, or it'll have some kind of wording like that. Just look around in your BIOS and change all kinds of things because you can't hurt anything by pushing random buttons in the BIOS. No. Actually, some of that I said might have been illicit. There's a parasite that lives inside me that says these things. Sorry. Don't go changing all kinds of things. Just find the one that says boot from USB and enable it. Make it so. That's all I got to say. Send me a video response. I'm going to do, the next inbox is going to be only videos. I promise. Hand over there. I promise. Next one is going to be only video responses. So send me a video response to this with your question.